Welcome to part 2 of the BBQ Shack Build. Today we'll be working on the decking. We did have a little bit of a screw up, and you might be able to spot it right now. We'll go into a little bit more detail later. It wasn't major, but it did cause us to have to go back and do a little rework. Before we continue with our BBQ Shack build, there was one part of the post and beam construction that I forgot to do. We had initially just screwed the beams into the post, but I wanted to come back with some stronger lag bolts. So we used a spade bit to create the hole for the bolt head and pre-drilled the hole for the lag bolt, and finally driving in the lag screws. Although it does kind of sound like I just left Taco Bell. Doug's tip of the day: if you are buying bolts, washers, nuts, or any similar hardware, try to find a place where you can purchase by the pound instead of individual pricing. I typically go to the Tractor Supply for my hardware. We didn't end up recording as we put the joist hangers and joist together. Here we are putting some braces between the joists. Now we've got the joist in place, and you can see the reclaimed wood sitting in the back ready to get installed. As I mentioned, I didn't record putting in these hangers. I love how they work, but I've always had issues as I try to install them. Maybe that's why I didn't end up recording it. This center post just needs to be as high as the joist, so let's get it cut off. Hey, good morning. We had our first bit of screw up here. So when I first started talking about wanting to put this together, we were wanting it to be a 12 by 12 deck. So initially we measured 12 feet just to kind of get our spacing for the posts. But I realized, the posts are thick. So I kind of tried to get it over where 12 foot would be right here. Get 144 inches between the posts. Pretty close on most of them. A couple of them are 143 something, but right around 144. The problem is I've got all these used recycled pieces of wood that I wanted to use for the decking. Now, granted, I've only got enough to go for half of it, but I wanted to use this, to give it a rustic look, plus it'll save me a little money. But they're 6 feet each. So if I come here and I line it up, right at just going to the edge, not even going past the edge, and then I come to this one and, line it up at the edge there. Then when I come here, I've got about a 2-inch gap in the middle. So I'm trying to figure out how to handle that. Now what I was thinking is I could take and run a 2x4, this way. And that would give me enough that I can have a little bit of overhang on each end. I'm still trying to figure out how that's going to work. So that's what I'm working on this morning. As I just mentioned, the idea is to put a 2x4 board down the center. So I added a second joist on the other side of the post and put just a few boards between these joists. As I'm putting down any type of decking, I like to use these Craig deck spacers. They provide a standard 1/4 inch between the deck boards. For the middle of the deck boards, I don't bother pre-drilling even with older boards. I just drive the screws in to secure the decking boards to the joist. But on the edges, I like to pre-drill the holes using a countersink bit. It just makes it easy to keep the deck boards from splitting. It goes much easier with 2 people. Drilling, driving, moving the spacers, it goes really quick. Here it is with all of the reclaimed wood installed. For this board in the back, I'm going to need a little bit wider of a board. I've got a wider scrap piece that I can use on this other end. I've got the same problem on this end also. So I'm going to add another joist up here, just like I did before. I could have just bought 16-foot or two 8-foot joist boards instead of a 12-foot, but that would have cost almost $60 more. Now we are just getting the new deck boards put down. I need to cut slots in the boards to fit around the post. The deck must be pretty sturdy to hold up 2 cats at once. All right, we got the deck done. End of day 2. We're into a few complications we talked about here. We had to kind of split the boards down the middle and put a 2x4 piece here to make it work out. But all in all, I think it worked out okay. Is it perfect? No. Is it close to perfect? No. Is it close enough? Yeah, it's close enough. Kind of like my old professor used to say in college. He was an ex-NASA employee, and he used to say, well, it's close enough for government work. And of course, now that I think about it, maybe that's why he was an ex-NASA employee. But anyway, we were going to try to get started on the roof today, but that didn't happen. And even tomorrow, we're supposed to get a big line of storms coming through tomorrow and probably the next day. So I'm not sure we'll even get to it within the next few days. But tune in for the next video. We're going to get started on the roof, and then we'll come back and start putting some sides on it and get this thing completed. I'm ready to get out here and get some smoking and get the Blackstone out here and get some food made. Thanks. Appreciate you guys watching.